February 22, 2026. The Mexican state of Jalisco enters red code status. In a high-stakes military operation in Tapalpa, Nemesio Rubén Oseguera Cervantes, better known as El Mencho, is killed in a clash with special forces. The response is immediate and industrial. Narco blockades paralyze Guadalajara and Puerto Vallarta. Burning vehicles serve as strategic barriers against military reinforcement. This isn't just a local riot. It is the reaction of the Cartel de Jalisco Nueva Generación, or the CJNG. For over a decade, El Mencho sat atop a $20 billion empire, designated by the United States as a foreign terrorist organization. His death hasn't brought peace. It has triggered a chilling mobilization of a private army that rivals national forces, leaving North American intelligence agencies to brace for the fallout of a massive power vacuum. To understand the CJNG, we must look back to 1985. Before the specialized cartels, there was the Guadalajara Cartel, led by Miguel Angel Felix Gallardo. The 1985 torture and murder of DEA agent Kiki Camarena by cartel co-founder Rafael Caro Quintero changed the landscape forever. Under intense United States pressure, Felix Gallardo privatized the drug trade, dividing Mexico into territories known as plazas. This decentralized system birthed the Sinaloa, Tijuana, and Juarez cartels. Fast forward to 2009. The CJNG emerged as a paramilitary wing of the Sinaloa cartel, led by Eric Valencia Salazar, known as L85. Originally designed to combat rivals like Los Zetas, the CJNG eventually split from Sinaloa, evolving from a protection unit into an independent predatory hegemon that used the very plaza system to cannibalize its former masters. The CJNG functions less like a gang and more like a multinational logistics corporation with a SWAT-tier paramilitary. Their dominance rests on three pillars. First, strategic port control. They dominate Veracruz, Manzanillo, and Lázaro Cárdenas, allowing them to oversee the import of chemical precursors and the export of illicit goods. Second, extreme diversification. Beyond cocaine and heroin, they are the primary architects of the fentanyl and methamphetamine trade, while simultaneously industrializing fuel theft and extortion. Third, military-grade capability. The group uses RPGs, .50 caliber sniper rifles, and specialized drone units for aerial bombardment. In 2015, they proved their reach by shooting down a Mexican military helicopter. Today, they operate in over 20 Mexican states, using a corporate expansion model that prioritizes territorial control over simple trafficking routes. The death of El Mencho exposes a fundamental clash in security doctrine. On one side, proponents of the Kingpin Strategy argue that removing high-level leadership is the only way to demonstrate state sovereignty and dismantle criminal hierarchies. They believe that by targeting the head of the CJNG, they disrupt the organization's financial networks and command and control capabilities, eventually leading to its collapse. On the opposing side, security analysts argue that this strategy is counterproductive. They contend that killing a charismatic leader creates an explosion of violence as internal factions battle for succession and rival cartels move to seize territory. This side predicts that the removal of El Mencho will not end the CJNG, but rather fracture it into smaller, more aggressive cells that are harder to track and more prone to collateral damage against civilians. Looking forward, the death of El Mencho signals three likely shifts. First, an internal succession war between founding members like L85 and younger, more radical commanders is probable. Second, the United States' designation of the CJNG as a foreign terrorist organization will likely lead to increased cross-border financial sanctions and potentially direct military intelligence cooperation between Washington and Mexico City. Finally, we expect a transition from traditional trafficking to coercive governance. In regions where state institutions are weak, the CJNG and its offshoots are increasingly controlling local economies, deciding which roads open and which businesses survive. The conflict is no longer just about drugs. It is a battle for the functional control of the Mexican state's geography.